Yo, boy Benny, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of America's Conspiracy Compass. I don't know where we're going to go today, but we're going to go, and we're going to go together. I hope you join us. This is a cutoff stream. It will be going off here in the next 15, 20 minutes, and we will be directly on pill.net. If you're not there, be there. Go and create an account. It is totally free, and it's also total freedom of speech. You will love it over there. Everybody that has been over there loves it. Thank you to everybody who has already created your account. I appreciate you so much. Right off the bat, I want to play this because this is something that I feel is amazing. It's about Trump's trial and how it could be a mistrial now because of a juror's cousin. Check it out.
Guys, boy Benny, breaking news right this second that is rocking the world. Democrats have gotten their jolly rocks off over the last week, calling Donald Trump a convicted felon over the guilty conviction that happened 7 days ago in New York. But was it really a guilty conviction? Holy cannoli guacamole. Check this out. In a letter to both sides of the case, Judge Juan Merchan, right here, verified, the Court of Claims, says that there has been a massive problem, a huge breach of the jury ethics may have occurred, and it may be grounds for throwing out the entire trial altogether. Check this out. Dear counsel, today the court is aware of a comment that was posted on a United States Court System's public Facebook page, which I am now bringing to your attention. The comment, the user Michael Anderson states, "My cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. Thank you, folks, for all your hard work." The comment, now labeled as 1 week old, responded to the notice of the oral arguments. This comment was made before the guilty conviction and can be viewable here. Juan Merchan sends letter saying effectively, if this proves out, that the jury was leaking the verdict to their families and friends before the verdict happened. This, of course, would be grounds for a mistrial and for Donald Trump to be set free and for there to be a complete and total overturning of this conviction. Wow. Check this out.
Folks, major breaking news on the Trump verdict out of the rotten apple. A New York Supreme Court has just notified, or the New York Supreme Court has just notified Judge Juan Merchan that someone identifying themselves as the cousin of one of the jurors posted to the court's Facebook page that Trump was going to be found guilty. This happened one day before the verdict was announced. We're working to verify all this information and what it means about Trump's case.
Holy moly. Okay, to say that this is a bombshell that has cracked the core of the internet would be to be putting it lightly. Juan Merchan notifies parties in the New York case, Facebook comment, boasting of the conviction of Trump before the verdict. Even libs are saying, oh no, Kyle Cheney over here saying this is pretty bad. Apparently, doing this would be a violation of an enormous amount of grounds of conduct. This could substantiate juror misconduct and be grounds for a mistrial to throw out the entire trial and its results altogether against Trump. This is breaking news rip-roaring across the internet. Judge in the Trump trial case notified parties of online comment claiming juror foreknowledge of conviction. The prosecutors flagged another juror link to past corruption investigation. Juan Merchan has reprimanded the press for revealing too much information to the jurors. The integrity of the trial is now in question. Is it time for a mistrial with prejudice? Wow.
Yes. Yo. Huh? Yo. I'm telling you, this is getting out of control, bro. This is what I mean, bro. The devil might got some bad plans for you, but God is greater. God is greater. X. I'm not saying it's going to be a mistrial yet, but if this is true, it's a mistrial. And the false, fake charges that they brought against President Donnie, they're gone. Just like that. Just like that. Yep. No more convicted felon.
What do you think, Brady?
It also shows the injustice that happens within our judicial system.
It explains itself. I mean, so many of these cases against Trump are either on hold or being appealed in some way, that there has been some kind of screw up with the case
100%.
all across the nation. And it's blows my mind that they're still going after him on anything they can think of.
Well, what blows my mind, and I've said this many times on our shows, is they keep going after him, even though it only boosts his audience. Like, that's all it does.
Yeah.
It is not making it worse. I will tell you, if Donald Trump is behind bars, he will still be voted as president in 2024. There is no stopping it right now.
Big facts.
When it comes down to this, like, everything is falling apart for Joe Biden and the Democrats. Everything. It won't be that easy. The whole thing was a scam. What makes you think they'll honor this? The judge has acknowledged it in his letter, and I will share the screen. The judge has openly admitted it in the letter, saying that he is aware of this. Let's go here. And here is his formal documentation. Dear counsel, today the court became aware of a comment that was posted on Unified Court System's public Facebook page, which I now bring to your attention. In the comment, the user Michael Anderson states, "My cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. Thank you, folks, for all of your hard work." The comment, now labeled as 1 week old, responded to a routine UCS notice posted May 29th, 2024, regarding oral arguments in the 4th Department of the Appellate Division. I think that's how you say that. Unrelated to this proceeding. This posting entitled, "The Appellate Division 4th Department will hear oral arguments this morning at 10 and comment are both viewable at." Okay. The judge is saying that this is a case for a mistrial. I get why you question this judge, because this judge is not doing anything fair, but he has already openly said this is a case for mistrial. So
Yep.
Yeah.
it ruined it. Like, yeah, what could be done, and I have to look into this because I learned about this 5 minutes ago, if that, maybe less. It could set up another trial that this judge has to do, but I do think Trump now has a case to say this district does not allow me to have a fair trial. It needs to be done in a different district.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But here's the thing, though. If this, I don't know. I think it'll just be thrown away. I don't think
That's the best case scenario, but that's where I think the judge has such a
wrongly
grudge.
convicting him. He got wrongfully convicted. If that is the case, he could sue. He could do all types of stuff.
No, if they pull up if they say, okay, you got an unfair trial, we're going to redo the trial, which can happen.
I don't think in that circumstance that it can. I think in this circumstance it gets thrown away. It doesn't go back to trial again. In this circumstance, because
I'm pretty sure it can. And with felonies, it can.
A mistrial just means they can prosecute him again. However, it's up to the prosecutor and whether they think that it will do any justice to do it all over again, because they have to start from the very start all over again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I know the circumstances of when it can go back into court, but I think under this circumstance with the jurors really being corrupted already, that
they wouldn't use the same jurors. They would move to a different district and
I know. Believe me, I know. I've been through it. I know. What I'm saying is under that circumstance with what's going on with him right now, they would throw it. He wouldn't go back to court. They would apologize to him. Well, and his lawyer would probably go with prejudice.
That is the best case scenario. But remember, we're talking about a judge here and Alvin Bragg that is also manipulating the laws to be able to even put Trump on trial in the first place.
Right, but
because he shouldn't be charged with a felony for these misdemeanors, but they twisted the laws in doing it. They're not going to give up that easy.
If Merchan says you know what? When the defense says we want to move to dismiss with prejudice because you see, can't get a fair trial. And this was a wash anyway. If
That can
Marchand
happen.
says
Yes.
dismiss with prejudice, ain't no re-prosecuting him for this crime.
Right.
Well,
If it's a prejudice one, they can't redo it again.
Right.
But we're gonna have to see if they give that. That's the problem. I see that they're gonna try to fight it because that judge doesn't like Trump. We already know that.
I don't
And
know
so-
if that was the case, he wouldn't even be looking at it in the first place. I know he doesn't like him, but
he has no choice but to consider it right now, or else he will be held responsible.
This is
I
true.
think he's being held responsible right now because he was
Well,
told
I
already
don't-
that this was unfair and he would never get a fair shake and that these jurors are corrupt. And
Right.
he was told all these things.
Correct. So, Barbara, to answer your question, the trial is not void yet. That's the technical term is he's going to get a mistrial. And we're going to see what the end result is, whether he's going to go through a new trial with a whole new set of jurors, potentially in a new district. If he does get a new trial, I guarantee you it's going to probably be done in another district. So they can different juror selections, different judge, all of that, which probably plays into Trump's hands a little bit. But I'm not throwing out what Cash is talking about. If they do say with prejudice, they won't try to go at him again.
You are correct, Barbara. The judge is corrupt.
Well, all judges are. Tell me anybody in this country that is voting for judges and making decisions and they know about the judge's history. No one.
No one.
No
That's
one.
whenever I have to vote for a judge, I just mark no on every single one.
I leave them blank. If I don't know the judge, I leave them blank.
I just mark no no matter what because I figure at that point we need a new judge anyway.
Yep. But anyways, this is a huge deal, guys.
Yes.
Huge deal. I had no idea this happened. I think it's fantastic, and we'll just see how it plays out.
All day.
I bet he does get a mistrial, but I think it's going to be questionable on if they do with prejudice. They're going to fight that.
I hope so. That'd be great. But
everybody
that's watching
how much
this right
mud
now,
on the face the Republicans are going to rub into the Democrats' face. It's going to happen.
The MAGA Republicans. Real quick, everybody that's watching us, if you could do us the favor of liking this video right now and then sharing it. All of you, I appreciate it. Kathleen, Madam B, Daniels, Rose. I already know you probably already shared it, Rose. Sarah Sims, what's going on? If you could share this out for me and like it, I'd appreciate it. All of y'all. I would greatly appreciate it.
I actually think they won't get that far because I think they're going to cover up their mistake and say that this person wasn't real and it wasn't verified and that person was just making it up.
But why?
They can't.
They can, well, I mean, they can say it because it's a 50-50 chance. Either he's going to get convicted.
No. Here's the thing. If this person actually is the cousin of a juror, how the hell did you know that your cousin was in the jury pool? That's supposed to be private. That right there would be the dead giveaway.
They're told that they can't talk about the trial until after the trial.
That is true. I'm just saying I think the Democrats are going to cover it up and say that this person was found not to be real and that they don't have a cousin or anything like that.
I have to address this first. If convicted again, we have lost the American justice system. I will tell you right now, we have lost America's justice system already.
Lost.
For him to be in this state right now, it's already lost. God just somehow made this work out to where there is an avenue. Because the whole thing was a disaster. But one, if we want to get into the details on this, I don't know, Cash, if you are okay with that, but just switching the misdemeanor that he is being charged with, is originally going to be charged with, to felonies, to go around the statute of limitations and to be able to charge him with felonies, which then could put him into issues in some states, maybe with voting and elections, and cause more chaos. That is enough to justify that our justice system is in a world of hurt right now. We need an overhaul.
That's true.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
And
So
Hemelu on Pilled says judges should be constitutional, not left or right. That is
100% big facts, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Real quick, you guys, not to transition too much because we got a couple minutes left before we switch off of here, but I wanted to pull some up because this is one of the things I wanted to talk about since we were talking about some of this stuff, yesterday. Are we in the end times and what's that look like, right? But I found this little video I wanted to pull up and I wanted to talk about it if you guys don't mind. So check this out.
There's something very different and eerie about this election cycle. Have you noticed what it is? I've been following elections since a very young age, about the age of 12, which I know is quite strange. But around that age, I started to get very interested in politics and follow every presidential cycle very closely. So this is now the fifth one I've been through, paying close attention. And I've noticed something extremely odd. The first thing I've noticed is we are well into the season. We are very close. And there is no campaigning going on. None whatsoever. And I also noticed that the news cycle is not dominated by the story of this election. Which begs the question, do they anticipate that they need to campaign for it? It almost seems as if they already know the end before the beginning. It's almost as if they're not even concerned at all about the outcome because they already know what the outcome is going to be. There's something going on here. And to me, it's quite obvious. There's something very...
What y'all think?
Well, that explains the fact that Russia has now made their move in accordance to us giving Ukraine that missile system that happened to fire into Russia. Russia's now moving, and it's going to take about a week and a half. They're moving a whole bunch of a strike force essentially to Cuba. It will be some cruise ships, a nuclear submarine, and possibly destroyers heading to Cuba. And maybe it's like our leaders really want a war. They're doing everything possible to justify a war.
I agree 100%. But does it feel like, because this dude's right, this election season does not have the same energy that it did in 2020 at all. It's like he said, like they know who's gonna win. They know what's going on. And it's like they know, I don't know. It does feel off to me, bro.
Well,
All of this feels completely off to me. It's not the same as it was in 2019 moving into 2020 and 2020 moving into 2021. It's true, just man. It's not been anything close at all. And then it's like, focused around Israel and I don't know, Russia and all this. I don't know. It's just really eerie to me, bro.
Maybe they believe there won't be any elections just because a war will happen and they'll have to declare martial law.
Well, we all know our governments have been creating wars all the way back to World War I. They have been trying to keep us into wars and doing everything. Early stage wars where we actually had Congress sign off on wars and stuff like that makes sense. Like we did, but the government still had some play in it, or lack of involvement to stop it, I should say. But all in the modern days, for at least the last 50 years, they want to keep us in war to keep the military industrial complex funded, and so they can keep getting some kickbacks from their friends that they're getting all of this money. And so we know that's going to be happening. To say it's the end of days because of war, I don't think so.
No, it's not. No. If you read the Bible, it says, when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, be not alarmed. Yep. For these are just the beginning of birth pangs.
That's fair.
When you see earthquakes and various places and famine and all of these things, be not alarmed, be not dismayed, for the end is still not to come. For when you see nation rising up against nation.
In fact, supposedly the last war of all wars is supposed to be in the Middle East.
Megiddo. Yes, in Megiddo. And this is check this out. Before we get off here, I want to give you guys a tidbit so you can see. This is the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight. Hold on. Because this is prophecy right here. This is crazy.
I agree. One of the comments. We shall go back to the fact and say, pull up my vote because I want to see it today as compared to the very second that it was cast.
Why is the Euphrates River drying up? Well, of course, the Euphrates River is a major water source over in Western Asia. It is about 1,740 miles long, and it flows through Syria, Turkey, and Iraq, and serves a population of about 60 million people. In Genesis 2:10-14, we see the Bible lists 4 different rivers, all related to the Garden of Eden. And the Euphrates is one of these. So if this river has been flowing for thousands of years, then why would it start drying up now? In fact, the Iraqi Ministry of Water Resources warns that this river may be completely dry by the year 2040. In Revelation 16:12, we are told that the 6th angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water was dried up, that the ways of the kings of the east might be prepared. In Revelation 9, verses 13-16, we're told that an army of 200 million crosses over the dried up river Euphrates, that they could participate in the greatest Mid-Eastern battle of all time, which is Armageddon. We are seeing these things coming to pass right now. And this is Bible prophecy being fulfilled right before your very eyes. Why is the
climate change? Change.
Nah, bro. That's a whole nother thing that I want to dive into, talking about how man, like, I know we like to give credit to man for doing a lot of things like controlling the weather and earthquakes and all this stuff, but what if it ain't? What if they want us to believe that they have that power because it's really God? They want us to believe that they're in control when really God is in complete control of all of it. He controls the wind and the waves. You know what I'm saying? What if it's all been God and just shaking things up, and we're giving this acknowledgement to man when really it's God? Like the Euphrates River drying up?
Both.
I think it's both.
Because the reason why is you have corrupt, evil people trying to play God and be God, and so they're going to be doing those things. And so I will say both.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that man can't compete. If God wanted to wipe out like an earthquake, right? I know I talk about HAARP and all that and controlling the weather and all this, but think about this, bro. Before there was ever a HAARP, there were some catastrophes that have happened around the world, bro. Like, bad catastrophes. Like, you had a whole ice age. Literally everything got frozen.
You're acting like natural disasters never existed. They're all man-made.
No. What I'm saying is that man-made ain't got shit on God.
I don't disagree with that because
that's
obviously
the Euphrates River, and then when it talks about, like, it says in the Bible that at the end, right, that a third of the world is going to be engulfed in flames, and a third is going to die from earthquakes, and a third is going to die from famine. God, that's God saying that.
Let's just hope God ignites and lights all of these liberal bastards on fire.
No, bro, stop it.
So
I am so sick of them right now.
All right. Geography has given Turkey control of more than 90% of the water that flows into the Euphrates, and for decades they have been diverting water.
That was one of the things I was going to look into. Is
they have 200 pumping stations?
Yeah. So, are they diverting water to or from it?
From it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Because in third world countries like that, you're not going to have restrictions that you all can't siphon water off of the river like that, and so you'll cause those things to happen.
I agree.
So it looks like Turkey's using the water as an environmental weapon against the Kurds. They've been accused by the UN of deliberately flooding the Kurdish lands in Syria.
Wow. By the way, I texted Russo to make sure he knew about the news, and he sent me a picture of his shirt. Proud to vote for
Nice.
a felon.
Nice. Guys, we're about to be getting off of here right now. If you could please switch over to pilled.net, PILLED.net, and we're going to get deeper into this discussion because I got some things that I want to talk about tonight.
Thanks.
And it's interesting. When we talk about this kind of stuff, it always gets me going because it challenges, what you think you know. You know what I mean? And that's always a good thing. So
yeah, let's just jump over right now. Everybody jump over to pill.net. I'll start dropping the streams on social media now. So make sure you're jumping over there. We still see 50-something people.
I got some really good questions to ask, bro. I want to see your guys' take on it.
All right.
Straight up. Tag the site, Deshaun said. Is he watching on Facebook? Yeah, my Facebook.
It's hard to say, but here, I'll grab it real quick.
All right.
Sorry, guys. I am not as prepared for the show today. There we go.
It also looks like they've destroyed thousands of Kurdish villages, and